This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 6. A time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. First and foremost, I'd like to start this lesson off by giving all the honor, all the praise, and infinite glory to our power Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessing, and salutation to the Akim, starting with the 144,000 men that are laboring in this truth, pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth and in sincerity. Peace and blessings to the remnant, the 1/3 of the nation of Israel that have repented, turned their hearts back to the Father, rehearsing the righteous acts and keeping the commandments to the best of their abilities. Peace, blessings be unto you and your household. Shalom. It's your brother Kazak Tazabah coming at you once again through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. So I was led through the spirit this morning, and I was meditating on, the things that are taking place throughout the earth. All right. When it comes to wars, all right, and rumors of wars. Okay. All throughout history, all right, the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the true biblical Israelites, make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, have experienced war from the beginning of time. All right. I'm not sure what this lesson is going to be entitled, but something along the lines of the Israelites are not new to war. Okay. Now, this here lesson is going to be primarily on the topic of war within ourselves. Okay. Primarily. Now, yes, we have been through conventional warfare. Okay. We have been at war in terms of fighting with other nations. Okay. When we fled out of the nation of Egypt, all right, and we were in the wilderness, all right, in order to gain the land in which we were to occupy, we had to go to war and take over the lands. Okay. Even up into the book of the Maccabees during the Greek Empire, during the Greco-Roman Empire, the Greek Empire. Okay. We were at war. All right. So war is nothing new to us. Okay. Nothing, as it says in Ecclesiastes, the first chapter. All right. There's no new thing under the sun. All right. No new thing under the sun. You see? Let's get the book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. It says, "For whatsoever thing were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope." Okay. So things that were written aforetime, our history of, how we conquered lands. Okay. How we entered into the promised land. All right. The fighting with the warring with these other nations, conquering these other nations, etc. Okay. These things were written for our learning. Okay. Because and through patience, we get comfort, because through this, we know that the Lord will put the warlike spirit upon us in that day when needed. All right. That we don't have to worry or be concerned about those who try to come up against us, because ultimately we have the Lord watching over us, okay, through his angels. All right. We are at constant war spiritually. Okay. Though we hear about the wars and the rumors of wars, we're seeing the fighting and the tension and with these other nations, these other kingdoms. That's Esau's definition of war. Because our warfare is not the conventional type. All right. We're in a spiritual war as it is. We have spirits that are coming up against us, trying to throw us off track, trying to get us to, comply and to be subdued to the ways of the world. All right. So we're constantly at war, even to this very day, to this very moment. You see, let's get 2 Corinthians chapter 10, and I'll start it from the top. Now I, Paul, beseech myself, you by the meekness and gentleness of Mashiach, who in presence and based among you, but being absent and bold toward you. But I beseech you that I may not be bold when I am present, with that confidence wherewith I think to be bold against some, which think of us as if we walked according to the flesh. Though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. You see? And if you read it in NLT, it reads, we are human, but we don't wage war as humans do. Okay? Because we are not of this world. You see? The Lord called us out of this world. All right? Lord willing, if we be of the elect, we were the first fruits. Okay, the Alahayim, the powers. You see? So we're not like these mere mortal humans, though we are in this flesh, okay, and we die like men, but our spirits are far superior. You see? So we don't war like the typical person would. We don't war in terms of taking matters into our own hands. We trust in the Lord. But we are constantly at war with our flesh, okay, because they are contrary to one another, our flesh and our spirits. Okay. Verse 4, it says, for weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations, and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of the Most High. Okay. And what are some things that are what is the main thing, okay, that exalts themselves above the knowledge of the Most High? That's the enemy. It's Esau. It's the beast with the 7 heads, the 10 crowns, or the 10 what is it? The horns, 10 horns. You see? That's exactly what exalts themselves above the Most High. And all the imaginations and the falsehood, okay, the lies, the deceit, we're casting those things down, man. It says, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of a Mashiach, and having readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. Okay. Let's get the book of James, the 4th chapter, and I'll read verse 1 through 3. From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, even of your lusts that war in your members? Okay. Let's read it in NLT. What is causing the quarrels and the fights among you? Don't they come from the evil desires at war within you? You see? The flesh, the lust of the flesh, the fleshly desires that we are constantly at war with every single day, because we're trying to be perfect as Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is perfect. All right. We're trying to live in accordance with the laws, okay, to the best of our abilities, the commandments. You see? Because our flesh is completely opposite, all right, of our spirits. And that's the ultimate victory, okay, is the overcome the flesh. You see, because when you can overcome your flesh, all right, you've won. Because to remain in the spirit is a beautiful thing. To remain in the spirit is what grants us the gifts, that are being poured out upon us, Through walking in the spirit, we have faith. We trust in the Lord. You see? So it says, verse 2, ye lust. Verse 2 in the KJV, ye lust and have not. Ye kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lusts. Now let's read that in the NLT to get better understanding. It says on verse 2, you want what you don't have, so you scheme and kill to get it. Now who is that the spirit of? The spirit of Satan, okay? The spirit of the devil, all right, that comes upon people, all right, to want to do such things, to get what you don't have. Isn't that the spirit of Esau? Okay. Taking things that aren't his. It says, ye are jealous of what others have, but you can't get it. So you fight and wage war to take it away from them. Yet you don't have what you want because you don't ask the Most High for it. Now, Esau is unable to get it completely, Let's get this real quick. It's a common scripture, Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. He wants what he can't have, right? Let's get the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. Salakia. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. It says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, the spiritual wine. Okay, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. You see? And is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all the people. You see? So this is him going about taking things that don't belong to him, right? Let's read James 4 and 2 again. You want what you don't have, so you scheme and kill to get it. You are jealous of what others have, but you can't get it, so you fight and wage war to take it away from them. Yet you don't have what you want because you don't ask the Most High for it. All right. Now, what Esau has done has gotten it through deceit. You see, fighting and waging war against who? The remnant. Okay. Let's get the book of Salakia. I don't know why it's not shown on there. So we'll go here. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. You see? So here you have the dragon. Who was the dragon? That old serpent, the enemy, Esau, okay, trying to make war with the remnant, which is who? The woman that it's referring to here. Okay, Revelation 12 and 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Now, this is all symbolic. All right. The woman is referring to Israel. Okay. And the 12 stars, upon her head, a crown of 12 stars is what? Okay. The 12 tribes. Okay. And glory. All right. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Now, who are they referring to? Yahushua. Did not King Herod go and try to, when he found out that Yahushua was born, did he not go and send men to try to go devour our Lord, to kill the Lord? You see? This is symbolically speaking, right? And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, right? And that's a future prophecy. Okay, when Yahushua makes his return and establishes righteousness on the earth and to rule the nations, right? And her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne. Okay, you know, that was pretty much it on that. Okay, but here you have them trying to take what's not theirs. It says, and even in the NLT, and even when you ask, you don't get it because your motives are all wrong. You want only what will give you pleasure. See? That's the spirit of Esau, man. And it's aligns with our people, okay, today. You see? Let's get 1 Peter chapter 2, starting at verse 9. It says, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in times past were not a people. Why were we not a people? Because, I want to say it's Jeremiah 16. Okay, when we broke off, that branch that was broken off, and we, were Hellenized and taking the customs of these of the Greeks. All right, the Romans, taking on the customs of other nations, following their false gods and idols. Right. It says, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of the Most High, which have not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. You see, we have now obtained mercy through Yahushua. It says, dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts which war against the soul. You see, so it clearly identifies what wars against us. What do we war with? What are we at war with? The fleshly lusts. Okay, it says having your conversation honest among the Gentiles, that whereas they speak evil against you as evildoers, they may by your good works, which they shall behold, glorify the Most High in the day of visitation. Then will they have known that a prophet had been among them. You see how that aligns, right? So what are some of the fleshly lusts, okay, that it speaks on, right? 1 Peter 4:1. For as much then as Hamashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind, for he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin. Yahushua suffered in the flesh. Okay, he was a walking example. Okay, he suffered the same things that we face today. However, the only difference is that he was without sin. You see, he made it possible for us to believe that we can too walk in the same fashion. You see, verse 2, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of the men, but to the will of the Most High. You see, he overpowered his flesh. It says, let me read that in NLT because this is spot on. It says, you won't spend the rest of your lives chasing your own desires, but you will be anxious to do the will of the Most High. And that's how we should feel, man. You should be anxious to want to do the will of the Most High. All right. You should want and desire to do these things. Putting your best foot forward, doing the most and the best that you can. You see, it says, for the time past of our life may suffice. Let me read that again. For the time past of our life may suffice to us have wrought the will of the Gentiles when we walked in lasciviousness. Okay, so mind you, back in 1 Peter, the 2nd chapter, talks about the fleshly lust, right? Let me read verse 3 again. For the time past of our life, we may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles. What are the ways of the Gentiles, right? It says, when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries, wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil unto you. Okay. What does that sound like? All right. Back in during the time of the Maccabees, okay, when we were not at all to profess, okay, to be a Jew. All right. And what did they do? They were partaking in some of the customs and some of the things. Okay. Let me get an example. Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days or ancient fast, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. And in that day, the king's birth every month they brought by bitter constraint to eat of sacrifices. And when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in the procession to Bacchus, carrying ivy. Moreover, they went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifice. And whosoever would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. Okay. So going back to 1 Peter 4:3, for the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles. And it gives you a list We walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries. It says, wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. You see, so they expect you to fall in line, all right, and to keep their customs, to keep their ways, man. But that's going off. It says, verse 5, who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead? For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to the Most High in the Spirit. See, for this cause was the gospel preached. Right? Let's get Isaiah 61. Isaiah 61, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prisons to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn. You see, this is why the gospel is preached, but also to give those who are dead, right, who are considered dead, spiritually speaking, because walking out of the way of understanding, you remain in the congregation of the dead, loosely paraphrasing. So walking about without understanding of the scriptures, okay, you are considered spiritually dead, right? Though you still are in the flesh, they're spiritually dead. But it says, for this, let me read in NLT, that is why the good news was preached to those who are now dead. So although they were destined to die like all people, they now live forever with the Most High in spirit. All right, let's get the book of Colossians chapter 3, and we'll start at the top. If ye then be risen with Hamashiach, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of the Most High. Set your affection on things above, not on the things on the earth. Okay? Because our bodies, our flesh, okay, wants to, set your minds on things here on the earth. Why? Because, our flesh is weak, for one, but our flesh, causes us to think that what we see physically has more value than things that we don't see. You see? But that's when faith kicks in. You see? That's when faith kicks in, because our bodies, our minds are programmed to think that what we see, things that we can lay hands on and touch and experience and things like that, has more value than things that we don't see, which is completely false. There's a whole spiritual realm that we cannot see, but through faith we believe that it exists and that we're being protected by it, okay? By spiritual beings, angels, our brothers, okay? Those who have the testimony of Yahweh Shai, who are doing the will of the Most High in the spiritual realm. All right. It says, verse 3, for ye are dead and your life is hid with the it says, for ye are dead and your life is hid with Hamashiach in the Most High. When Hamashiach, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him in glory. Mortify your members which are upon the earth. Right. So it also breaks down or gives you, understanding of what the members and what the fleshly lusts are, right? It says, mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil, concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. let's get that word inordinate affection. It says a feeling which the mind suffers, an affliction of the mind, emotion, passion, passionate deed, used by Greeks in either a good or bad sense. Okay, vile passions, depraved passions. You see? All right, so that's what that is, right? Verse 6, for which things sake the wrath of the Most High cometh on the children of disobedience, in which ye also walked some time when ye lived in them. Okay, because at one point in our lives, before we were made known of this truth, or rather reminded of this truth, you see, we once lived in the ways of the flesh, engaging in the ways of our members. Okay, our mind, our thought process was warped and deceived by what's put in front of us, on a daily basis through TV, social media, the music, video games, just people in general. You see, all by the vibration that Satan is putting on the earth. Okay, and he's using his physical counterpart to essentially make war with us, make war with our spirits. Okay, it says, but now ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. Lie not one to another, seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds. You see, putting off that old man, right? It says, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him. You see? And put on the new man, which is renewed. Let's get that word renewed. The word renewed, it goes into to cause to grow up, new, to make new strength and vigor is given to one, to be changed into a new kind of life as opposed to the former corrupt state. And that's spot on. You see, changed into a new kind of life. And what is that new kind of life? Walking in the way of the spirit of truth, the spirit of understanding, the spirit of faith. Okay, the spirit of wisdom, right? As opposed to the former corrupt state, because the former corrupt state would have brought nothing but destruction upon us, which it has and it will to 2/3 of our people, because there's a veil over their hearts, as the scriptures go into. Let me see if I can get that. I think it's in the book of Hebrews. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Let me try it here. A veil. Okay. All right. Salakia. I think it's Hebrews chapter 10 and Salakia, bear with me. I'm gonna pull out the sword, spiritual sword. Or was it? I think it's Timothy. Let's see. Salakia. Yeah, I can't find it. But pretty much it talks about how, you know, how the veil was above the eyes of the Israelites. Okay, but they have a veil, you know, over their hearts. Okay, which is their mind, right? So let's just stick to the point. But the point has been made. Okay, but well, where'd I leave off? That was pretty much it on that. Okay, so let's get Galatian, book of Galatians, chapter 5 and verse 16. It says, "For this I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." Right? So what are some of the things of the flesh, right? It says, "For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would." All right. So we are constantly at war within ourselves, man. Our spirits want to do, as the scripture say to do, but our flesh wants us to enjoy the pleasures of this life. Okay. I'm gonna come back to this. Let's get the book of Matthew. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26 and 41. "Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." All right. Our flesh is weak. You see, that's why it's so important to try to remain in the spirit as much as you can. And how are you to remain in the spirit? How can you do such a thing, right? Being in this flesh. By constantly reading, studying, watching lessons, growing and learning, ultimately being rooted in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? It says, but verse 18, Galatians 5 and 18, "But if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, that as I have also told you in times past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High." It also goes into that in 1 Corinthians, the 6th chapter. I want to say verses 9 through 12, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. But it says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are Hamashiachs has crucified the flesh with the affections and lust." You see, we've crucified our flesh. Okay. We die daily. We put off our flesh daily, because we know that partaking in things of the flesh and living in the ways of the flesh brings us nothing but sin and ultimately destruction. It says, "If we live in the spirit, let us also walk in the spirit. Let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another." Okay. So this is a constant battle that we face daily. All right. So once again, I reiterate, war is nothing new to us. We've always been at war with our flesh. You see, that's why the Lord established laws within Israel. Okay. That's where there's laws. So that's why it's so important to be armored up, man. You see, The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. They're all spiritual. It's time to armor up. Ephesians 6, common scriptures, right? Ephesians 6 and 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. You see, we're dealing with spirits here, man. We're dealing with the spirits on the left-hand side. All right. If we be those men, all right, the elect, Lord willing, we are constantly at war with those left-handed spirits that try to come up against us. Therefore, we got to put on as the elect. How does putting on as the elect? Armoring up, putting on our spiritual armor. Okay. Taking heed to the words of the Lord, studying them, meditating on them. All right. Praying, fasting. It says, verse 13, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and to take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. You see, praying and supplication with all Salakia, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit. With these things, you're fully covered. Okay. A true warrior, a true soldier, okay, doesn't go to battle without his armor. A true warrior doesn't go to battle without his sword, right? And that's in a carnal sense. Going back to what I brought out in the beginning in 2 Corinthians 10, our weapons of warfare are not carnal. Okay, but let's get it again. Verse 2 Corinthians 10 and 4, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to pulling down strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself above the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to obedience of Hamashiach. You see? So before, before we have to be, in order to be ready for the physical, okay, we got to be ready spiritually first, right? Because in Jacob's trouble, the Lord, you got to remember now, this is a lesson on a spiritual, through spiritual lenses, you see, but there will come a time of Jacob's trouble, that things will get physical. When the enemy comes in like a flood, when they come in through your doors at 3-4 o'clock in the morning while you're sleeping, because we're all red listed. We're not desired. We're not wanted in this world. They're coming after the elect. Those who trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, we're the ones that they don't want. Because they're being exposed, the truth, they're being revealed, and they despise us for it. Because we're the ones speaking on it. We're the ones that are bringing it out. Okay? But why worry? Okay? We have confidence in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and that's who we trust, right? Let's get a couple more scriptures and go ahead and close out. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 27. And I'll start at the top. A Psalm of David, it says, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. of whom shall I be afraid? Right? No need to fear. You see, the Lord is our strength. He is the one who gives us this strength through his promises, through his word. We get comfort through these words, man. All right, let me get another precept, and because that just brought me to what is it? Second Maccabees chapter, or is it First Maccabees? First Maccabees chapter 12 and verse 9. Therefore we also, albeit we need none of these things, that we have the holy books of scripture in our hands to comfort us. You see? So through comfort of the scriptures, man, once again in Romans 15 and 4, it brings hope. Okay? So we have hope in the Lord. It says verse 2, Psalms 27 and 2, when the wicked, even mine enemies and my foes came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Though an host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. You see, we are to remain confident. Why? Because we have a power above us, around us, okay, that won't let anything happen to us. Not a hair on our head shall be destroyed, you know. Let me get that. I think that's in the book of Luke, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 17. It says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but there shall not a hair on your head perish. Right? And your patience possess ye your souls. See, so there's no reason to fear. There's no reason to doubt. Okay? We should have all confidence in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Now, this Psalms 27 can go both ways, physical and spiritual. All right? There's a duality to this here chapter. Verse 4, it says, one thing have I desired of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord and inquire in his temple. Verse 5, for in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me upon a rock. And now shall mine head be lifted up above mine enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing, yea, I will sing praises unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. So we have confidence, full confidence in the Lord. Right? And let me end it on 2 Maccabees, the 8th chapter. 2 Maccabees chapter 8 and verse 18. It says, for they, let me highlight this. For they said he trust in their weapons and boldness, but our confidence is in the Almighty, who at a beck can cast down both them that come against us and also all the world. You see? Once again, through all our wars, through all our battles, okay, from the beginning of time, you know, up into us warring and fighting our battles within ourselves, our flesh, our mind, Satan, the devil, through Jacob's trouble, all of that. Okay? War is nothing new to us, man. If you were able to overcome the war that you face within yourselves, okay, you will be able to overcome the war, all right, that's going to take place in the world. Through having faith, confidence, and the Lord that he's going to fight our battles for us through his spirit. Okay. So that was pretty much it for the lesson. Lord willing, this was an edifying, exhorting, comforting lesson through the spirit. And so with that, I want to end it by giving all the honor, all the praise and infinite glory to our power, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, or HaHaKwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessing, and salutation to the hopeful elect. And until next time, Shalom.